This week we're going to highlight weather trends in Argentina as that later planted corn begins to pollinate. We're also going to look at a record level of unshipped sales of corn as we move into late January here, highlighted by those major purchases by China last week. And we'll wrap things up looking at the trends in December corn futures. Hi, this is Brian Basting with Advanced Trading. Let's talk about the corn market. We've moved into February now, and there's really a lot going on here in the middle of winter. We're going to start out looking at what's going on in South America, specifically looking at the weather trends in Argentina, where quite a bit of the corn is pollinating. Let's take a look at where that corn is grown in Argentina. We haven't looked at this slide for a few weeks now, but again, we're looking at three primary provinces that produce corn in Argentina, looking at Cordoba, Buenos Aires, and Santa Fe. So those are the areas we're going to focus on today. Moving on now, this slide's courtesy of T-Storm Weather, and we're looking at basically the moisture situation. Look at those top two parts of the graph, looking at early planted corn as well as late planted corn. You can see the percentage that's rated dry, whether it's in the last 7 days, 14, 30, 60, or 90, is not that high because we've seen an improvement in moisture over the last 30 days. So really the corn crop does have a cushion, if you will, entering pollination, but as we all know, pollination things can change with temperature and precipitation. So moving on now, we're going to focus on the weather in Argentina near term here. Our slides this week, as usual, are courtesy of T-Storm Weather. Now again, we're talking about later planted corn and pollination here, so we're looking at the next 7 days. We're looking at very little to no rainfall over those areas, those provinces we just highlighted. Moving on now, we're going to stretch that forecast out into next week, February 9th to the 15th. That'll lead us into the President's Day holiday weekend over the 15th. So we're looking at very little rain again over that area. Now, forecasts can change, of course, but the equivalent, the rough equivalent, again, would be in the Midwest over the 4th of July. We know how important pollination is going to be. So moving on now to summarize that, over the next 14 days, we're looking at very little rainfall across those key growing provinces. So again, I'll remind you that President's Day weekend is over February 13th, 14th, and 15th, that 3-day weekend when quite a bit of that corn will probably be pollinating in Argentina, so weather will be very important. Let's switch gears now and talk about the export sales moving on. Now we've highlighted this slide last week, but it bears repeating. We're looking at this year, we're looking at a record level of sales of corn. Now this slide does not actually include those sales that were made last week to China. Those will be reflected in next week's report, so it's even going to be higher moving forward. We want to highlight that unshipped sales have been made but not yet shipped yet at this point. Now again, this slide shows sales that are on the books but not yet been shipped yet. And that number, the red line, if you will, is really going to spike next week following those major sales that were made by China last week. But even in spite of that, we're looking at a record level here, 233 million bushels more to China. Again, that number is going to go up. So we're really looking at a strong export program in the works as we near the second half of the crop year, starting March 1st. Let's wrap things up looking briefly at trends in December corn futures. Now once again, we've entered now that February crop insurance period, a critical time here to monitor things closely and manage price movement, working closely with your trusted risk management advisor. Again, we're looking at the highest price now for December 2021 corn futures for this time of year since 2014. So a 7-year high in December corn futures at this point, trading in the area of $445 to $450 a bushel. Now, if you'd like more information, please feel free to contact us at 800-664-2321. We'll put you in contact with one of our risk management consultants who'll be happy to visit with you at your convenience. And remember, we upload every Wednesday. Make sure to subscribe to our channel to never miss an upload. Thanks a lot. Have a good week.